Hello, everybody. Happy April 1st. We've got a not an April Fool's today. We've got an actual album to listen to, and an interview with Penny Pyrope, who is here.
Hi, that's me.
Oh yeah, hello. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Penny Pyrope. I made this.
Yes, yeah, the actual real person that made this album. Very exciting. I've been very hyped
Yeah,
for this one for a while. I shouldn't call it an album though.
flattered.
It's an EP officially, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess EP because I call it more of an EP because it's easier to categorize.
Right. Yeah, it's
I don't
yeah, a short little
know.
20 minutes worth of music. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm really excited to dive into it. Um
thank you.
I did want to talk a little bit before we started playing the music about your relationship with creating music and sort
Yeah,
of the extended lore that I've come to appreciate since joining your Discord.
yeah. There's a bit of a lore, I guess, with my music. Um, that's kind of always what I've wanted. And I guess just one day I really like looked back at everything I've done and I'm like, wow, you could make like an iceberg chart of this. And I was like so happy,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I have I have a lot of music just spread all around out everywhere.
Hmm.
I got the main Bandcamp, but and that's where most of it is, but then like there's a lot of stuff on my YouTube that you won't find anywhere else. There's stuff on my other YouTube that I don't know why I posted there. It's just I kind of have stopped posting on that channel and been more I guess public with it. And then
Hmm.
there's also, to anyone listening, there's another band camp called MS Paint Bitches. Uh and if you want to check that out, you can.
Is that where the hidden albums
It's
are, or is that just
no,
a side project?
that's some side projects with Hat Shape who's in the chat right now, among
Oh,
some other
nice.
people. But the thing is, I don't know. You'll have to see. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, all right. Love to check it out on stream sometime. Definitely.
Hmm
But yeah, no,
There's
I saw that there were hidden secret albums too, and that
hmm
you were considering doing like an ARG sort of like
Oh my God, yeah.
puzzle sort of rollout. So no, I love all of that stuff.
I've done an ARG for my second, or I did an ARG for my second album, Cassiopeia, but I was so small at the time that no one really did it, and the ARG was like kind of improvised, so it sucked. So, so yeah, I don't really blame anyone for
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I made some of my friends do it, and they're like, "Penny, this sucks," and I'm like, "Thank you," and I appreciate their honesty.
I can say though, like I definitely relate to that as like as a small creator. Like when I was first putting out videos, it
Hmm
was kind of liberating if one of my videos sucked. It's like, well, even if this is horrible,
Yeah.
it's like not that many people are going to see it either way. But
hmm
you learn, and as your audience grows,
Yeah.
you get better at doing it in the future.
Yeah,
You take those lessons.
it's a learning experience.
Yeah,
Everything is a
exactly.
learning experience.
But yeah, no, awesome. So I definitely want to talk a
Every
bit. What's that?
I was just gonna say every mistake is an opportunity to learn. But yeah.
Yes, yeah, words of wisdom for sure. Um, but yes, I mean, I want to talk about a bit more about like maybe future works or like where you're going next. But maybe for now we can get started and check out the first track here. Um,
Yeah, let me actually pull this up on
right,
my
because you
own
can't hear it. Yeah, I got to figure out
yeah,
the best way to do it. Talking about like living and learning, I got to figure out the best way to like do the
yeah.
interview where you can also hear the music that I'm hearing.
We can just do a little countdown and start it on the countdown.
Okay,
Yeah,
you want to try that?
yeah.
All
Start it
right.
on go. Start it on go. That's what I'm looking to say.
All right. So I got the first track, Cat, pulled up here. We'll start it on three, two, one, go. uh, that is the one, of course,
Yeah, that was Cat.
that we're familiar with because that's the lead single from the EP, right? Um,
Yeah, that was the singles, and
yeah, no, I love
it
that
was
one.
also
Go ahead.
yeah. Oh, you continue. Sorry. No, you
I was just
continue.
gonna say, like, I really appreciate the release date of this album, because
Yeah.
I was driving back from Pennsylvania yesterday. I had a really long drive, but it was like perfectly sunny. It was like a really beautiful day, and I put this song on just in like anticipation of the rest of the CP, and it was like perfect spring driving music, really like bright, like bright blue skies, and just really like
Oh,
great atmosphere. It was perfectly fitting for that drive.
yeah. I love to hear that because I really like hearing when people say like they have my music in the car. Like I don't
Great
know
driving
why, just
music.
something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah,
Absolutely.
it's that's I don't know. That's like kind of confirmation that I'm like, oh, I'm going somewhere in the world if someone is listening to my music in the car.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
pun intended there.
But no, I mean, yeah, this is a great track. It's a
Mhm.
great beat. I really like how it explodes,
Yeah.
sort of like at the halfway mark. It sort of goes from that like simpler sound to like those like synths really kick it up a notch, and it becomes like a real
Mhm.
banger towards the last
Yeah.
half.
I love my explosions in music. Just like out of nowhere, it just goes into a entirely different world, I guess is the best way to explain it.
Absolutely.
I love doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, expect that to hear that more
Yes.
with like I guess any of my music. Like I remember I showed you what was it? The Witcher and Black Cat, how the like last quarter of that song just has a complete switch up.
Yeah, yeah,
And that
yeah.
is like one of my favorite moments in like music I've created is
Definitely.
it's for that kind of reason.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said something in chat that interested
The end
me.
of Rhythm Zero is cat shape.
Yeah, yeah, that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, someone said that they love how the audio is mixed. That's the thing with this EP. I put most of the okay, a lot of this EP I made it just for fun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because other times I work more for like, oh, I want to make a good like work of art that represents like how I'm feeling and
Right.
all that. But
Yeah,
this
yeah.
I was just like I want to have fun and
Yes.
I did accomplish that. But most of the effort was put into mixing
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I was talking to one of my artist friends about this a few days ago where I think she said that music artists either have to like force themselves to make something, or it's like a bolt of lightning hits them and they get like all the inspiration there. And like that's
Mm-hmm.
how I was with this EP, is I would sit down, make an entire song, and then I'd be like, okay, cool. Or I'd make like half a song, and then I'd be like, I have no idea where to go from here.
Yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
so it was like the mixing and like the production part that was like where you really had to like force
Yeah.
yourself to spend the time on it and like perfect it.
Yeah, I am a bit of a perfectionist, and
Mm-hmm.
um, a lot of my older music, and by older I mean anything that's not this, I guess, my main problems with, I always just come back to the mixing, and I'm like, that could have been better,
Mm-hmm.
and like this would be so much more enjoyable if like the mix was better on this.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like that's just something that you know, no matter what, like how like perfected you make this, like the next thing that you work on, you're probably gonna look back at this and be like, oh, I could have like tweaked this or done that. All these
Oh
albums
yeah.
are really like a point in time. This is where you were at this moment. And like I think I was listening to and forget me, I forget the name of the album, but the one with all the sightings. And I
Yeah.
really I liked the sort of the rougher qualities of that. It felt like a bit more like a haunted arcade or something, um,
Yeah, yeah.
as opposed to something like this was just so bright and synthy and bubbly. But they
Hmm.
all have their place and their purpose.
Hmm.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think we can move on to Dog now. Getting into the new music territory. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think that's all I had to say for
All
that.
right, cool. All right, so I'll
All
start
right, count
dog
me in.
in three, two, one, go.
There we go.
Oh, ooh. Yeah. Cat Shape said in the chat, banger incoming. It was not lying. That one.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Talk about unfolding. That one felt like a kaleidoscope almost. Like it kept on like morphing and revealing more of itself over those like first like minute of that track. That was oh man, really really well done.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Um, there was something I just remembered I wanted to say about the last track.
Okay.
Should I get into that later or should I say it
Oh,
now?
if you want to, yeah, go ahead.
Um, and it's more about this entire EP as a whole. I have a lot of influences, and I used to wear my influences on my sleeve, but now I feel like my influences are so removed from the music. Like I don't know what genre this EP is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh I just started making stuff and this kind of happened. But like
Yeah, no, I hear
I
that. Yeah.
yeah. Um it's really I guess it would be pretty surprising to hear that a big inspiration for this album was Boris, even though you would
Oh.
never think of that. You would never hear that just
Yeah.
because.
No, I would not. That's you're totally right.
Yeah, it's like there's this big, there's this thing I do and or that I hear a lot and I love it and I
Hmm.
don't know the name of it, which is a big problem because I want to hear more of it,
Uh.
But it's like you take a major chord and then you just kind of like move it up a few notes,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
that's what I did on a lot of this album was there's not really chord progressions, or there are, but they don't make sense in a music theory
Hmm.
way, at least to my knowledge.
Right.
And that's a big part of my music is I do tend to focus on the theory aspect of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely like I. So the Boris thing I'm like hung up on because like now I'm like obsessed with trying to figure out where the hooks and like the lines are that connect that. But
Yeah.
like I think like honestly like Japanese music in general I get like Asobi Sexu vibes I think is her name. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's like more of that like
I don't think so.
bubbly like upbeat sort of shoegazy sound. Um,
Yeah.
that I think like aligns with like a lot of the there's like a lot of power behind the music here, even though like on the surface, like the start of Dog, it sounded a bit like a slice of life anime sort of with those pianos, and then it
Yeah.
sort of did your trademark explosion into it's like you're driving in a cave and then you come out into the sunshine. It's sort of that like overwhelming saturation of sound.
Yeah.
That's just so much fun. And I think somebody else pointed out that when you said that you used to wear all of your influences on your sleeve, and now it feels like that's sort of the natural progression. Now you're really like, I feel like, growing into your own with this music, and the lines to what inspired you are becoming harder and harder to track and trace as you make
Yeah.
like your own brand, which is it's super cool to see that evolution.
Yeah, thank you. I started making music because I heard the album Igor by Tyler, the Creator. And so if you
Nice.
listen to my early stuff, it is like just that, and
Right.
that's just what I was going for. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he Tyler, I got a lot of the jazz influence from him, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in my brief time trying to like make music on my own, I would literally just
Yeah.
try to like recreate a song like in FL Studio 100%. Like I was trying to make like Modest Mouse's
Yeah.
Baby Blue Sedan, like from start to finish, and
Hmm.
gave up halfway through. But like that's it's such
Yeah.
a good way to start and like figure out like what you like and dislike about a song when you can really like pick it apart and see every single individual element of it.
No, yeah, and I think that's something a lot of people don't talk about is like I guess imitation is
Right.
um
Or like it's people use derivative in a very negative way, but I
yeah.
think everything is derivative, and everything if you embrace that, you end up be able to like create and mash things together into a totally new style.
Hmm. And another way I started out with music was just like downloading sound fonts and stuff and
Hmm.
like trying to remake like a do a perfect recreation of like music I've heard from like older
Yeah.
games and stuff.
Were you one of the people that were like
And
creating the Radiohead albums with N64 sound fonts, stuff like
I
that?
wasn't exactly that, but I think if I started today, I would definitely do that.
Yes.
I
They
was
sound
like,
cool too. Like it's still like it's fun to make too, because like you're starting with really good sounding music. So I also feel like it's a good way
mhm.
to like encourage people to keep making stuff because the end product ends up sounding good, even if it sounds really similar to something else.
Yeah, I see. When I saw that like trend on YouTube like kind of blow up, I was like, man, why couldn't why couldn't that have been like, I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
3 years ago?
yeah. Just missed your point in time.
I just missed it. I could have been a billionaire by now off of YouTube
Yeah,
shitposts.
yeah. Cat Shape said the official Earthbound Swans cover, which I
Oh
have
yeah,
not heard.
I started making like a cover of
Oh, that was you?
Oxygen.
Oh,
Oxygen, yeah. I
nice.
started making a cover of Oxygen by Swans with the Earthbound sound font. I never really finished it, but Cat Shape, she always brings it up.
Holding you
And I'm
to
like,
it.
yeah, she's always holding me to it, so I feel like I do have to like go back and make it. And that was like a year or two ago, so I'll definitely make something
All
better.
right. Definitely. Yeah, I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
that. That sounds epic,
Yeah.
honestly.
Hmm.
Anyways, I
Yeah.
think let's move on. We've got Eraser up next, and I'll
Yeah.
get that started in three, two, one, go.
You mean
What's up?
Swan sample in the beginning? I'll talk about that later.
Okay. I love the bass line in that. That
Hmm.
like funky freaking groove that was in. That was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the it's like the sort of plinky synths that were coming in at the end. It felt like sort of like organic, like the thumb marimba sort of thing. Is that the instrument? But yeah, that was really really
Hmm.
good. Um,
Yeah.
I love how like there's been like no shade on this album so far. It's been like
Hmm.
just a straight. You're making me want to drive to Pennsylvania again so I can put this on.
Yeah.
No, it's great stuff so
Um,
far.
I love using that type of bass with like you just put like a filter to cut off the high end and then like sweep that. I don't know. I don't know if anyone in chat knows music production.
Not me.
Wait,
It's
they
yeah, it goes over my head so fast.
yeah, I understand. I could talk like forever about it,
Hmm.
but no one wants to hear that. Or maybe someone does want to hear that, but then they'll just be like, "Oh, cool," and they don't absorb any of it, and you know.
Right, right. Yeah, you get
Mhm.
so deep into this stuff so fast, you know.
No,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I definitely I appreciate, and I'm really looking forward to listening to this again as well because there were definitely like lines in here that were sort of hidden. There's like I felt like there were a lot of layers to this song. There was that like
Yeah.
whistling synth that was going throughout the entire song that was really fun, but sort of like
Hmm.
went into the background a bit as other instruments came up.
Hmm. And at the end, I was like, with that whistle synth, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna make that do some crazy stuff."
Yes.
Except I'm gonna fade it out so with
Only
only
dogs
people
can
who
hear it.
listen really deeply, yeah, only people who want to hear it will hear it because
Hmm.
most people will hear that like I don't know percussive synth thing. I don't know exactly how to describe sounds, but yeah, the percussive synth.
Hmm.
Um,
Takes
that's
over.
like
Yeah.
yeah, that takes over. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's taking most of the space in the mix there. Yeah.
Definitely. No, yeah, that one's a ton of fun. Yeah, we'll be bouncing to that later for sure. And it looks like it was a it was a favorite of the chat so far too. So
I'm glad chat likes it.
yeah.
And at the beginning, I I think I said this, but yeah, the intro is just a Swan sample. It samples a little god in my hands. I don't
Oh,
know
that was it.
why.
The start of this one was a swan sample.
Yeah,
Oh,
I really like sampling, but like with being a small artist, it's it's a what is it?
tough to
Thin
navigate.
ice. It's thin ice, you know.
Yes.
It's thin like I would love to I'd love to do more sampling, but
Hmm.
I just can't logistically.
Right.
So yeah, you'll hear more of me like experimenting with samples on the MS Paint, which is
Nice.
Bandcamp
Yeah.
under the
Hmm.
there's like lore with that and there's like a character there's like characters in the MS Paint bitches lore and there's this one named Jazz Fox and he's like
Gotcha.
sample stuff.
Use it like the
Yeah.
sample. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my um yeah, sampling stuff experimenting
That's
with
like
it.
where you really like let yourself loose with the sampling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hit or miss, of
Hmm.
course.
Gotcha.
I always try
Um,
to make those ones really lo-fi.
but like I totally relate to the hesitance to rely on samples, even though like it is such a
Mhm.
valid art form, and I think it's really
Yeah.
good for like the overall like culture and music in general.
Mhm.
But it's like it's what happened with DJ Sabrina, the teenage DJ. Like she's not making music anymore because she had so much trouble with sampling, and it's
Yeah.
just it's heartbreaking that
Hmm.
it's that hard to slip by. Like it's ridiculous.
Hmm.
Anyways, that's
Yes,
a
and like what you said, sampling is very important, and it always ticks me off a little bit when people are like, "Oh, sampling is just stealing," and it's like,
no,
no,
no, no, no.
actually.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what the record labels I'll say. So yeah, no, it's a rant for another day.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
This is
very
a happy
passionate about
occasion.
that. Yeah, this is a happy occasion.
Yes. All right, let's move on to lemon.
All right.
It 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, hello. Whoo.
So that was
That
Lemon.
that guitar hit so good, or like the guitar synth. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's a Mega Man X sample.
Hell
I
yes.
or the guitar
Mm.
the guitar. It's from that. I've never played Mega Man. I just
Me
I
neither.
remember
Yeah, yeah.
um yeah, yeah. I
The
remember listening to Homestuck music. I don't know if you're familiar with Homestuck. That's a story for another day. And you know,
hmm
just there was this one part that started doing like some crazy Mega Man guitar solo stuff and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
The sound of that hits. It's like yeah. I've never played Mega Man, but it's still like such a perfectly nostalgic sound. It's so old school video game that like it doesn't matter if you played it or not. It's just like that's what it's gonna evoke no matter what.
yeah, I think if I had to pick one song to show to myself back in like one song of mine, I mean, to show back to
hmm
my or showed myself back in like 2021, this would be the one because I feel like
To like show you like how you progress, or like to like excite you as a
yeah,
musician
because
to keep moving forward.
I guess both
hmm
because this is kind of I guess the music I would have was trying to make back then, you know?
That's odd. Yeah, I love that thought. Like what you would like want to show your old self. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's awesome. And I totally see what you're saying. I mean, that one it also felt like such a complete song too. It like had such a like a clear sort of structure. Instruments came in at the perfect time. Um,
Hmm.
you said earlier, did you have a project in the past that was like Cassiopeia?
Yeah, Cassiopeia, yeah.
I think you know, that's a really because I this song evoked the band Cassiopeia for me. Um,
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that midway through that I was like, did I this reminds me of like jazz fusion.
yes, yeah, yeah, and I think you know this evokes like it treads a very careful line for me where it's
Hmm.
like super accessible and sunny and bubbly, but it doesn't like tread into the like I want to say like boring or uninteresting territory. Like you know, if something is too happy or you know enjoyable, it like loses the hooks and the grip. But I think
Yeah.
like the way that you constructed these songs and like the instruments and the like crunchy guitar, it like perfectly like
Mhm.
keeps the attention. It's just like Cassiopeia. They're perfect with that. They lock into this great groove, but then like the
Mhm.
instrumentation and everything comes together so well that it also keeps your interest. So just like a super enjoyable listen.
Yeah. I think I've only heard like two Cassiopeia albums, and I think the first one I heard was Asian Dreamer, and I think I've heard it like once,
Uh
and that one time I was like, okay, my life has changed. I
huh.
because it was like the first jazz fusion album I heard,
hmm
and I need to listen to more jazz fusion because from what I've heard, it's like objectively the best genre, and I feel like I've said that in your chat before. It's like it it just amazes me.
hmm
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like yeah, it's funny, right? Like I don't listen to much of the genre either, but every time that I've heard it, it's just like blown me away, and like I've
Hmm.
absolutely loved it. So I don't know, it's just something about the genre. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know, the like this evoking like the feelings of when I listen to Cassiopeia. Like I hope that you know, I think that that says a lot about the music here. Just like I think it's like a ton of fun to listen to.
Hmm. I
Uh,
feel like anytime I listen to something, it goes into like my the song goes into my subconscious and it finds itself in music
right.
later that I
Like
make.
there's that one part of your brain that's like I want to make music that feels like this, and they're like
Yeah.
controlling the levers. Yeah,
Yeah, and I just kind of forget about it.
yeah,
And it just kind of happens.
yeah.
Because
It is fair.
if someone came up to me and said, "Hey Penny, make a jazz fusion song right now," I would not be able to, but I made this, which is like close enough, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. It's like electronica and jazz fusion, a
Hmm.
fusion of jazz fusion.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. I actually don't. What's the name of the next one?
Poli sci.
Poli sci.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
Let's check
Count
it
me
out.
down.
It 3, 2, 1, go. I wanted to like dance to that one. That was like a
Oh
real like
yeah.
stand up and dance kind of type of groove. Dude, that was so much fun. And also like the bass line there at the start, it kind of felt like it was introducing like a sort of cartoony villain sort of thing. I got a very
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Team Rocket vibe from that.
I really went for the Wario and Waluigi vibe on this
Yes.
one.
Man, no, that was so good. Like,
Um,
go ahead.
yeah, a few years ago, my friend said, they were like, I'm a poli sci major, and I'm like, what is that? And then they're like, oh, it's political science. And I'm like, I am naming a song that one day because that is a cool word.
Sounds a lot cooler than it is in practice.
Yeah, probably, but
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
needed
great.
that this music like I wanted to have the Wario and Luigi Waluigi, there we go,
Mm-hmm.
vibe, you know,
Oh, nailed
that
it.
evil, greedy
Yes.
vibe, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think I killed it on that, which
Oh,
is funny
100%.
because that person who I first heard the word poli-sci from is a massive fan of the Wario Land games, and
I thought
I did not notice that connection until just now.
I thought you were gonna say that the person that said poli sci is like a massive asshole or something, or like a real life
No,
warrior.
no, no, they're one of the nicest people I've ever met.
That's great. Uh, but I love how that would like, even though yeah, it was like a change of pace and it like felt darker and more evil, it still was like perfectly like sunny and like it was like meeting a villain on a beautiful day sort of thing. Uh, it would like it
Yeah,
still like maintained that like really positive and optimistic vibe. I love that.
yeah. I love me some piano solos with
Oh yeah.
with the blues scale. I
So are you
I
like actually like
remember
playing on a keyboard?
sometimes, not this time though. It's a lot of MIDI, and I remember I saw like an interview with like Paranol one time,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "I'm sorry to let my fans down, but I use a lot of MIDI stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God, because I do too." And I think that's something a lot of people are not willing to admit.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all, yeah. Um, but I mean, that was there's a lot of MIDI in there because like you really got that like sort of jazz fusiony slide going on in there. Like the piano's like just missing the note to give it like that like authentic feel. Yeah, it sort of like
Yeah.
goes into the groove a bit more. Um,
Yeah, I definitely try to make it as like human as possible though.
right. But that's like a lot of tweaking. Like I can't imagine how much like playing around with MIDI that is. It's like it
Hmm.
becomes a point where like it almost would be easier to just play it on piano. Like it, I think to your point, like it's not like a detriment to do it through like MIDI or through FL Studio or something. It's like this probably was more work in the long run.
Yeah, I'm a composer first and a like pianist like probably
Hmm.
seventh or something.
That's fair.
I think
Um,
my next album will be definitely more live like guitar stuff, and
cool.
there'll still be MIDI, of course, because I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
never escape. It's just I've fallen in love with the sounds and like I guess the perfection of MIDI, and it's like I could never replicate that.
Hmm. Right,
Hmm.
right. So you play like a guitar too?
Yeah, I do.
Hmm.
It's You'll hear some. I think there's some guitar on the next track,
Oh, nice.
like actual, not like the shitty Mega Man guitar.
All right, excellent.
Shitty in
Well,
a good way.
yeah, the good shitty.
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right, yeah. Well, then, with that, let's check out Pyrope Sprite. It's a
yeah,
great name.
yeah.
All right,
Cut me down.
let's check it out. Three, two, one, go. Yeah, dude, the build up after the second half of that song was unreal. It was so
Yeah.
good. Oh my god. It felt like it was like this nice like Twilight vibe with those synths. And then when it like
hmm
came back in that full force and the guitars. Like I honestly I got like MIDI Boris vibes from the second half of that track. I
Yeah,
definitely
I
saw the
really like
inspiration there.
I really like me some like slow builds. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Swans, Boris, Godspeed You, Black Emperor, all those bands, and you know, I I think with my past few projects, like what is it? Trying to think of where it started, but I'd
Mm-hmm.
say just mainly some songs on Oh Sweet Dream Beast, the longer ones, and that experiment single thing that I did, Fall Rise. There is
Mm-hmm.
a lot of builds, you know. I just love my builds, and you know,
Heck,
this
yeah,
one was
that's
more
awesome. It fits in really
electronic, I
well.
guess.
Yeah, it fits really well with this music, and I
hmm
think I don't know where I was going, but like I think it like the way that it meshed with your like sort of electronic style, it really made like for an interesting sort of experience there. It felt like sort of an 8 minute experimental sort of yeah like Swans esque track, but like
hmm
combined and condensed into like a sort of bit crushed MIDI experience. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool.
hmm
And that's one of
I
the things. It's one of the things
no, you
I
go
love
ahead.
about like modern music, like people that are creating music these days, and like taking these really disparate and sort of unexpected influences. You know, the stuff that like influenced you so much when you were growing up is like
Yeah.
different than anybody else's set of experiences. So like by you combining all this stuff together, it's creating something like totally unique here. Which yeah, that song was like really blew me away. Honestly, that was so good.
I have heard a lot about that. As we all grow up, like I guess in like 90s, 2000s, but now
Hmm.
like everyone's in their own space on the internet, so everyone's exposed to totally different stuff.
Right. Yeah, and everybody has like these
Have a
wildly different formative albums.
conversation about
Right.
yeah, and talk about stuff that was big in your childhood. There's a good chance that like some people have never heard of it.
Oh,
Like
yeah. Hang on.
when I was younger.
Sorry. Sorry to cut you off. Hang on one second. I think my stream's having problems. Uh,
Oh, okay.
oops. YouTube gave me a an error message. Let me just check to see if.
Oh yeah,
Hang on.
I understand technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's a bit of a freeze there. Oh come on. Here now. I think. Okay. I think it's working.
Okay.
I think yeah. I think I had like a lag spike on my end. That was my fault. Sorry guys. It's not on your
Okay.
end.
Yeah, I understand.
uh,
Yeah. Where was I? Monoculture.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of people used to grow up with the same things, but now like that the
Right.
internet's like getting bigger and bigger. We're all
Absolutely. Yeah. I
totally
think of
different
it.
things, and like,
Yeah. I think of it a lot like a tree, right? The stuff in
yeah,
the 50s and the
yeah,
60s where the trunk of the tree setting the roots for metal with Ozzy Osbourne, with Jangle Pop, the Beatles, Beach Boys,
mm,
the standard stuff. But then as time has gone on, we've branched out, and now everybody's sort of like so far away from those roots that they're totally different like sounds and influences than what came before them. So yeah,
no, yeah.
I continue to be just super excited and blown away by stuff like this, the new music that's coming out, and the new
hmm
like experiments and combinations that we're able to have.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I think that's the majority of what I wanted to say there.
Cool.
There's
Yeah,
been
sorry.
some
I was just double
tangents
checking the
there.
stream. I think everything is is back to
No, I
normal.
understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
All right. Cool. So yeah, let's move on to the last one. Zycandiroxide.
This is yes, which is a word I made.
I
It,
believe
it
it.
it came to my head one day. It
Yeah.
came to my head one day, and I was like, that's a song title.
Yeah. A big one too. You got a 6 minute finale here. And did I see you released this as
Yeah.
like another single or?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. I just saw it as like a separate
I
video, but maybe that's because it was like the way YouTube rolled it
oh,
out.
I just upload the tracks individually.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, either way, I saw it pop up on my feed, and I saw the 6 minute video. Dude, I was trying really hard not to listen to this music before the stream.
Yeah,
It was really
I like
tempting.
my long songs. So this is like a shorter long song that
Shorter, long song. I love that.
you know.
For like compared to the rest of the album, it's like a behemoth. But yeah, no, I hear what you're
Yeah,
saying.
compared to the rest of my music, it's just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, but yeah, let's check it out without further ado. Zycander Oxide in 3, 2, 1, go. This is so cinematic at the start.
Yeah.
That was sick.
I saw some people saying that the stream showed up.
Crap. Hang on. Let me pause it real quick. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry, guys. I haven't had this error before. This is crazy. I lagged for a bit. All right, it's back now. I think it's working. Oh, I'm so sorry to pause that one, but I want to make sure I stream correctly.
You want to go back to like 1540 in the video?
Okay,
That's like kind of still with the intro, I think.
perfect.
It
Yeah, I'll do
might be
that.
around where it cut off. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
we
dude,
can do
that
it. Just
that
count.
transition was so good. Oh,
Yeah,
just
thank
while we
you.
have it paused. Oh my god, unreal.
Mm.
Okay, all right, we'll go back to 1540.
Yeah, count me down again.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Man, that was amazing. What a surprisingly like epic conclusion to this EP.
Mm-hmm.
You really
Yeah.
put the pedal to the metal there, just like floored it for the the last song.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, I I think like how I said earlier, I did this whole EP for like to have fun. I had so much fun making this one, but I also was able to like insert that like where I'm what I'm gonna be doing going forward with my music, you know?
oh, so this is like
And
a teaser as well as a
I
conclusion.
guess kind of, you know,
Hmm.
because um there's that big intro, that like
Yes,
ambient droning, you know, all
incredible.
that. And
Yes.
yeah, with the noises, I love making noise music, but the thing is, there are more noise musicians than there are noise listeners, and that's the way it will always be.
Yes, that's
So
it's
if I
very
can
well said.
just get people, yeah, this one's like it's kind of a compromise. It's like I will do some music if you listen to me have fun and make noise a little bit, you know, because
Yes,
it really adds to the texture.
yeah. And I love stuff like this. One of my big running theories with experimental and noise music is it's sort of like the fashion industry of music. You know, like you look at it like a high fashion show and you see somebody wearing like a ridiculous outfit and you're like, "Oh, I'm never going to wear that."
Yeah.
But the point is not for somebody to wear that, it's for, somebody that also makes fashion to get inspiration and ideas from it and, somewhere down the line that eventually becomes clothes that people actually want to wear. It's sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
definitely.
how I think of with like experimental music. You hear something that's just pure noise and ear grating nonsense, and you're right. There's more creators than there are listeners, but it's also sort of like a tech demo for how that sound could like maybe play into a song that you're working on or something. So like hearing this
I've never.
like big instrumental experimental intro for this song, and how it like
Mhm.
flowed perfectly into the actual like music. It was like a perfect like case in point of that, how it like all came together so well.
I've never thought of I've never thought of it like that, like noise is like a tech demo.
Right.
But yeah, about what you were saying, like we wouldn't have electronic music now if like people in like what the 30s and 40s weren't like just taking these like sine wave
Right.
synthesizers and just making them go like beep boop.
Yes,
And
exactly. Yeah, experimentation. It's it's experimental music for a reason. It's there's stuff
mhm,
that comes out of the experiment eventually.
and there's that iconic quote from Jake the dog that's like you gotta before you can be good at something, you gotta like really suck at something. I think that's really what it is with like any form of art too, because
Hmm.
like something is going to be in its most I guess primitive
Right.
form first, and it's going to be bad before it evolves into something like
Absolutely.
how it all comes together.
Yeah, yeah, and then it can become good
I
again.
don't know if that made sense.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see what you're going for. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, yeah. So I love the concept of the song, but I also love the execution of it. I just want to call out the percussion on there because I was like really into the drums and the beats of that song, and I
Hmm.
love how it didn't feel like it repeated itself either. It was a really super like
Right.
intricate beat, very listenable, but
Hmm.
also not like repetitive. So just really impressed by that aspect.
Hmm. I think I had, because I use FL Studio to make these. I think I had like the most like drum patterns in this song than like anything else, because
That makes
that
sense.
and oh my gosh, the drums specifically mixing this was, it was so difficult, but
I can
I
imagine.
eventually got it down.
Well, I'm
It's
yeah, I'm glad that it was like the first sort of takeaway that I had for the song. Like, it came out really good. So, all the
Mhm.
time that you spent on it, it was worth it because it sounds amazing. It has the perfect amount of
Yeah.
like crunch and like rhythm after that like super spacey cinematic opener, and then it like
Hmm.
carries through the rest of the song. So, really well done there.
Yeah, what was it? I don't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, like what I said, mixing
Hmm.
was a big point of this EP. It was really allowed me to like I guess learn, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you said this is sort of like
And
the teaser for what's coming next. Have you like already
I
started
guess,
working on
yeah.
it, or is it just like where you want to go with your music?
Yeah, I guess kind of both. My next album, I've kind of started working on it. I'm doing a different approach to it where I'm writing like the chord progressions down. You know, I think my
Hmm.
next album is definitely gonna have lyrics and stuff.
Nice.
The album I have in mind
Uh huh.
right now, and I want to say all that is like 75% written, but like putting it into execution as like something listenable it's gonna be a while.
Hmm.
So
Okay, I
yeah,
won't hold my breath, but because
yeah, yeah.
it sounds like the writing and the maybe the recording part is half
Mhm.
the battle, and then like the mixing and the production is a
Oh yeah.
significant amount of time as well. So
Yeah, because the way I've done it, even with this EP, is that I like to call it compositional improvisation because what happens is I'll just be making a song and
hmm.
I have no idea where it's going. I just keep putting down patterns in FL Studio and like arranging it, and
Right,
then I'm like, I think this needs to happen next. It's all like very, I guess, impulsive, you know.
right,
And that's
yes,
just kind of the way I've always done it. So with my next album, I'm trying to break free from that. Um,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
well,
and
good.
um, yeah. I forgot to mention, but that last part of that song,
Hmm.
that was not what I was just talking about, like yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
compositional improvisation.
Uh,
That came from another song that I wrote
that like big
probably like a
conclusion.
year ago. Yeah, that conclusion
Uh,
was actually the intro to like an album I was writing a
oh,
while ago
cool.
that I've kind of scrapped at this point.
Uh, well, if you pick that one
Hmm.
up, then it can be the
Yeah,
conclusion to this one, and then the intro to that one. Really have
yeah,
things
yeah.
flow together.
That one was like it was probably the first song I've ever like fully written lyrics for.
Okay.
And so naturally, like I said with the Jake the dog quote, it was not that good. But I did really like that part and I was not gonna let it go to waste. I was just, you know, kind of recycling the ideas.
Nice.
There's
Yeah.
no point letting stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that go to
agreed.
waste.
It fit perfectly in here, so yeah, I'm glad you did. Um, how long would you say you've been working on this EP?
I do like to keep track of like how long I've been working on music on my Bandcamp. So for this I have January to March of this year, both of this
Oh,
year.
okay. So it was a
Yeah,
pretty
so
pretty quick turnaround.
yeah, it was pretty quick, and
Hmm.
I guess it's because I wanted to have fun with it.
Makes it
Um,
easier if you're having fun. Yeah.
it it makes it easier, and I did that. I would say mixing was like most of the battle there,
Right.
but I think for my like next actual album, it's gonna be a big big time time range, big range, I guess.
Gotcha.
Timeline. I don't
Yeah.
know the word.
No, I hear you.
Um, but yeah, I've I wanted to make like a concept album for like a long time,
Hmm.
and so I went through like a bunch of ideas. Like I wanted to write one about like all the colors of the rainbow, and like something about like all the layers of hell and stuff. And
Ooh.
then I wanted to do all that, and then I just ended up scrapping all those projects. And for a while, I was like, maybe I don't need to make a concept album, and then I should just experiment and do like random stuff. And this
Yeah.
is kind of the result of that.
Hmm.
And because I've wanted to do that and like experimenting with stuff like even before this, I kind of accidentally wrote a concept album with like the next thing I'm working on.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fully. There's a I feel like it could be read as that
Mhm.
um with what I have so far
Right.
because there's a lot of ideas in it that seem like they would connect to a viewer, but to me they some of them connect, some of them don't. But I think to a viewer it could be like a story.
Gotcha.
Um
Yeah, and
just
you just sort of
looking
have
at
to
it from a
like,
different angle.
yeah, you just have to put it out and see how people
I'll
like
let
how it
people
grabs people. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
I'll
get that.
I'll let people
Be the
decide what
judge.
they want to
Yeah,
about it.
decide if
Yeah.
it's a concept album or not.
Yeah, I just don't want I don't know. I'm always scared of my music getting too big because I wouldn't want anyone to listen to something and be like, "Oh, this song is probably about this person in Penny's life." Oh no.
Yes,
And like
yeah,
that's
like
not the case. That's
overanalyzing.
yeah, that's not the case at all.
uh, you are kind of
Hmm.
opening yourself up for that with the whole like iceberg,
No, yeah.
icebergification
People can
of your lore.
people can do what they want. It's just I need to learn to not care
Mhm.
about it.
Right, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely something that once you release it, if people start interpreting in like their own ways that like maybe you don't agree with, there's not much you can do about it.
Oh yeah.
That's the
And
it's
I
the
feel like
beauty and the curse of art.
as an artist, you are not allowed to
Yes,
say no to that.
right, exactly.
I feel like that's one of the unwritten rules of
Hmm.
being an artist that if someone interprets something one way, you are not allowed to say, or
Yes,
you're not allowed to say that anyone's interpretation of your music or art is wrong.
absolutely. I do want to go back to like one point you were talking about like the concept versus non-concept album creation process.
Hmm.
I think putting limitations on yourself to create like an album of all the colors of the rainbow, something that like is very almost rigid with how like, well, this song needs to be in this constraint. I think that can be really
Hmm.
it can drive a really great creative process. But I also
Yeah.
think once you pull that blanket off and allow yourself to make whatever you want, can like be just as liberating. And I think this album as a whole, it felt like someone that sort of released the pressure on themselves. It felt like a very
Yeah.
easy and lighthearted album or EP, data,
Hmm.
whatever it is. But
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so I think that came across really well from start to finish. It felt like you weren't holding yourself back, and just had a great time making it.
I did. I really did. And I'm glad that it comes off that way because that is definitely like exactly what happens.
Came across that way from when I saw the album art, which I don't know if I told you, I love this cat, by the way. It's I've seen it on my feed so much because of like the upcoming album like premiere, and I just love seeing it every
Yeah.
time.
It's from I found it on the Library of Congress because and I was just scrolling through like cat pictures on the Library of Congress and I found that and I fell in love with it. I was like, I need to put that on something.
That's
Um,
awesome with like the little
but
X on the collar, or
it said 5 cents, but I just
oh, okay,
changed it to an X because like cat allergy and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um
I love it. Uh, it's
you
great.
have cats, right?
I do. I have a cat, yes, who likes to
Okay,
poop in the
because
office here.
nice. I
Yes.
because I saw there was a cat on your banner
Oh yeah,
before the
yeah.
stream.
That's
I was
that's
like,
her. That's
oh,
Khaleesi. Yep.
perfect.
The
Yeah.
little channel mascot.
Cat,
Sometimes she's
yeah,
walking around in the background.
cats are one of my favorite animals, but yeah, like the EP says, I do have a cat allergy.
That's
So
sad.
that's unfortunate. Yeah. People could like, I don't know, probably read into that however way they want. Maybe it's like a metaphor.
Yeah, yeah.
But for this one, this is probably the first time I've made something where I don't have much meaning with it, and people can uh do whatever they want with it, like I've said.
It's ironic because that has a meaning in itself, right? Um,
Yeah.
I think the main, for me, the main meaning of this one is, it really felt like you've grown as an artist and sort of trusted
Hmm.
yourself to create something that you just wanted to have fun making. Um,
Yeah.
and it shines through from start to finish. So yeah,
Hmm.
really, kudos on this. So this is just a great EP. full stop. That
Hmm.
it was a ton of fun to listen to. We'll be listening to it again, and
Thank you.
yeah, you did a great job here. Um,
Mhm.
I know you said I saw in the Discord, I think that you had a goal with streams on this. If it got to like
Yeah,
800, I think.
800 combined on like
Every song combined from every streaming platform because I'll be able to see it on
Mm-hmm.
DistroKid. I'll
Yep.
be able I'll be able to keep people updated in the Discord server. So if you're looking to get I'll put some bonus tracks on this if I get to that goal. And I'll make like a deluxe version or something
Excellent.
and
Cat
put it
Allergy
out. But it has
Deluxe.
to be, yeah, it has to be before my birthday, which is May 17th. So
Okay.
you got a little bit of time to act. I wanted to set a goal that was kind of unreasonable, you know?
Yeah, it's funny, right? Like
Mhm.
800 in the scheme of things, it's both massive and minuscule.
Yeah, yeah, for someone like me, it's massive, but let's I in a few years it'll be nothing.
Exactly. Yes.
Let's
Yeah,
be
well said.
let's think about it like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I hope you make it. Anybody that's watching this, please go stream the album. Sorry, I took maybe four views from you, so tack that on.
Okay. Um, what was I gonna say? It's kind of unrelated, but a big part of my creative process, it starts with song titles.
Mhm.
And like the first thing made with this EP was the track lists.
Really?
Because I like song titles and I can like interpret them in specific ways, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like how like when an artist release like announces a new album, like you did it with this one. You announced the track list, and your mind just starts like racing, wondering what each song is gonna sound like, even though it's just like a title.
Hmm.
It has absolutely no bearing on the actual song itself.
Hmm. I do that with some of my other releases. And like what I was saying with being interpreted specific ways and this one not having a meaning, really.
Hmm.
Some of my older music, it does have meaning. Like I made a song with like an idea going into it, but because it's all instrumental, no one will really ever know what it's about, and people
Hmm.
just have to theorize about
Right.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Definitely. And instrumentals can carry such a like powerful story even without words. I have a ton of respect for fully instrumental albums, fully instrumental songs.
yeah.
It makes it like harder to talk about and maybe like interpret on first blush, but the
Hmm.
emotions and the overarching intent and story can really be felt, like how what was it? I don't think it was Poli Sci with the track on here where everybody knew it was like a Waluigi and a Wario. So, like
Yeah, it
there's
was
no words, but
Polly's
like you can still like convey such a clear message with just through
hmm.
instruments, and I love that.
You hear that song and you like immediately see like a like what curled bicycle mustache, you know?
Yes, waddling up to you. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. I like to think of the name and then like I guess colors that would kind of be associated with it
Right. Awesome.
sometimes.
Well, dude, I mean, I think it's a great way to leave it. I think. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see what you come out with next. Um,
Hmm.
I hope you would be willing to do this again, because I would love to have you back on the
Yeah,
stream.
definitely.
We can talk through your
Hmm.
next conceptual album
Yeah,
filled
thank you.
with electric guitar and
Yeah.
experimental
Hmm.
introductions.
Don't
Yeah.
forget me when you're big.
No, same. It goes both
Here.
ways. I just need one of you people to get a Grammy and mention me on the stage, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit the moon.
Hell yeah. You got this.
Excellent.
Um, Before we go, I would like to thank everyone that I have in the special thanks on my Bandcamp. My girlfriend Olive, who has always been very supportive of me and being a musician. Uh, Bonnie, who's in chat right now. Um, Bonnie gave me a lot of great feedback on this on this EP and a
Hmm.
lot of my other music too. Um, Maddie, Shia, and Jacob, who are all great friends of mine, who I uh, you know, kind
Hmm.
of demoed some of these songs on them, saw how they felt about it to see what I really needed to work with. And what was it? Who not who was it? I know who it is, but I put the special thanks and then I forget why I have. Oh yeah. Um Lilac Roadkill, who I also showed this to, and they said that it sounded like, what was it? Like a White Rabbit game, what a soundtrack, whatever the thing Machine Girl did. Yeah. I Ellie, if you're watching this, you've taught me more about music production than like anyone else, so thank you for that. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, no, it sounds like there's a great, and just again from like perusing the discords and showed it a few days ago. Yeah, it sounds like there's a really great support system and network sort of
Hmm.
forming behind this music. And yeah, like ever since I started this stream and started really talking to smaller creators, and doing these interviews, it's really been eye-opening how many connections and how much goes on behind the scenes. Everybody's just trying to lift each other up and make the best music that they can. And I think your music here and your shout outs there are a great sign of that. Um, so yeah, I love that. It
Oh, and sorry, I forgot to mention one person because I was just kind of going rapid fire. Marcy, who I also showed these songs to. She's in that group. Yeah, my
Okay.
bad.
Shout outs to Marcy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Uh, I'm excited you made it.
Mm-hmm. Hello, controversial TV.
Hello, hello. Yeah, you have to watch the
Sorry to
VOD.
cut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries. But yeah, no, I like I said, I just I'm always really inspired by how supportive the scene is and how everybody's just making amazing music and helping each
Hmm.
other. So yeah, I hope you guys all keep it up and let me know when you put out music and I want to listen to it with you all. So
Yeah. I also want yeah. In my server too, if you're a small artist, also send it to me too. You can get two servers
yes,
full of people listening to your music.
already
Yeah.
skyrocketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And make sure to always be honest with feedback you give to people, because if
Honest
they make some
feedback is a gift.
give
Yes.
give honest feedback to people, because I have a horror story with something like that. It's my biggest mistake of all time. There's a guy who once entered my Twitter DMs,
Hmm.
and he showed me a song. He didn't even say, "Hey Penny, I like your music." He just said, "Hey, I saw some of your posts. What do you think about this song?" And in the song he showed me, um, how do I say this nicely? It was not good, and I didn't like it. But
Uh,
what I said was, I like the drums on it. So I tried to,
did you like
you
the
know,
drums
I'm
on it or?
I liked the drums on it, and that was it. But it got worse because about a year later, I was watching TikTok with my girlfriend, and they sent me one of this guy who had made a horrible album, and everyone was clowning on him.
Oh.
And they didn't know this, but like I looked at that and I immediately just like screamed because it was him. And then I see a video clowning on him that has a
Oh.
100,000 likes, and I'm like,
Oh
oh my
no.
God.
Oh.
I'm like, I could have stopped this.
It's tough, right? It's
Yeah.
hard because like you want to foster it, like you don't want to like snuff out like a flame if somebody is like really trying to make music. Um but yeah, if you're
Yeah, it's
too generous, you're not shielding them from.
and the thing about it is like he has like a lot of passion for it. He's
Hmm.
he's very arrogant about it, but he is. uh he is passionate. At the end of the day, he's passionate, you know?
Yeah.
And so I couldn't like I couldn't extinguish that, you know?
Right.
So
Uh,
yeah, if someone asks you, "Hey, what can I work on this song?" Tell them.
okay. The the tricky thing, like, and I can kind of use it as a defense. Like, I know so little about music production that it's like
Mhm,
hard for like. I think I have like a bit of a protective barrier from people like specifically asking me for feedback. Um,
mhm,
I can if people send in a song that like maybe I don't like totally jive with, I can usually pick out like a vibe or something that I enjoy, and like I hope that by talking positive about like the aspect of a song that I do enjoy, I like push
You'll
them.
emphasize that more.
Yeah, exactly. Push that like with the feedback that you gave. It sounded like it didn't
Mhm,
work out in the long run, but like I would
mhm,
probably say something similar. Like I really like the drums here. I like the pacing or the build up or the structure, and like that's
mhm.
something to focus on and emphasize with the music, and then better music comes out of it. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So there's
There's good
definitely
ways to go. There's good ways to go about it instead of just saying, "Oh, this is the worst song I've ever heard. Never make
yes.
music again." Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
don't do that,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Yeah. Uh, well, yeah. Good advice though. Be
Yeah,
careful with the advice that you give.
yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, with
Get
that
that out.
said,
That's my confessional.
all right. Yeah, I think let's call it there. Petty, thank you so much for being on the stream and sitting down
Thank
with
you
your
for
album
having me.
here. Like I said, can't wait to hear what you got next. And
Yeah, thank you so much.
yeah, everybody go stream this album. Stream every song individually, so it adds up to
Do
the
it.
800 count. That's the hack.
And it's Bandcamp Friday this Friday, so like I'll make more money if you buy it on Bandcamp.
Oh,
Woohoo!
good to know.
Yeah,
I'll keep
that's
that in mind.
yeah.
Excellent. Well,
All
yeah,
right.
thanks everybody so much for stopping by. Thanks for the kind
Mhm.
words. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. And Petty, hope to have you back on the stream at some point. No rush.
I hope to be
Won't rush
back.
you with it, but it can't
Yeah,
wait.
no rush. Yeah,
All right.
I'll take my time.
Yeah. All right. Bye everybody.
Bye.